Hello students, welcome to Orario's Physics 10 classroom. I am Nanda Goban. So we are going to discuss the first chapter, effects of electric current, in the first session. Today we can discuss some of the first chapter portions from energy conversion, Joule's law, like that, and the problems will be in the next classes. Today we are going to discuss our first chapter, and that is effects of electric current. When we speak about physics in a 10th class, we are always worried about the results, we are always worried about the A+, but today we are going to start our new session. Here we are discussing the physics with different type of scientific scenarios, and it's very enjoying, and you want to involve into the subject which you can study and enjoy same time. So in this class, we can go to our first chapter, and that is effects of electric current. In the previous classes, that's in 9th and 10th, 8th classes, we studied about different type of electrical phenomena like magnetic effects and other kind of voltage, current and resistance. Those kind of words you are familiar to. Here we are discussing what are the different kind of effects can be generated from the electric current. When we look into your room, there are different type of electrical equipments can be seen. For example, an electrical bulb. It's a perfect example. Why? Because an electric current comes to an bulb, or comes to the electric bulb, and it is converted into light energy. In another case, take an iron box. What happens in the case of iron box? An electric current comes to the iron box and it is converted into heat energy. In the old time, we are using an input energy source as electrical energy, and the output energy comes in different type of forms. Why here we use electrical current as the input energy, and universally the electrical current or the electrical energy is used for converting or deriving another type of energy forms. When we discuss about the energy change, we want to know the one of the most important laws in physics, and that's known as law of conservation of energy. According to law of conservation of energy, the energy neither be created nor be destroyed. It only be transferred from one form to another. So when we discuss about law of conservation of energy, we want to take into account that the electrical energy can be changed into different type of energy form, that like heat energy, light energy, sound energy, and also chemical energy. And you also know that there are different type of equipments we can understand the energy conversion scenarios. Like that, when the electrical energy is converted into heat energy, we can say that in example is bulb. An electrical energy converted into heat energy, we can take an example like iron box. In a case of loudspeaker, the electrical energy is converted into sound energy. Therefore, we can say loudspeaker is an example for the energy conversion from electrical to sound energy. And in a chemical energy conversion from electrical energy to chemical energy, a cell or a battery is a perfect example of energy conversion taking from electrical energy to chemical energy. The equipments we are discussing now are seen everywhere and around you. So this phenomenon, the change of energy from one form to another, is taking place everywhere. Here, as I said, the incoming energy is electrical energy and the outcoming energy is in different type of forms. Take an example like TV, a television. What happens when a TV performs or TV is working? The incoming energy is electrical, but the giving energy, the output energies are like light energy and also sound energy is also coming from a television. So from this we can understand the electrical energy is very easy to convert into another kind of energy forms. That's why we are using electrical energy as a universal energy resource. So in nowadays electrical energy is very important because the easiness to convert an energy form to another energy form in a low cost matter and also with the low energy usage. So when we discuss this chapter with the details, in this chapter we can study how the heat energy is effectively used with the help of electrical energy. As we discussed, there are so many equipments we are using like iron box, induction cookers. These equipments are all using electrical energy for converting or producing heat energy. So it's one of the most important topic we are going to discuss in our first chapter. Before that, students, please note that there is a table in textbook, that is textbook 1.1. Table 1.1, I think it's in that page number 4. So you can know that there is a table you want to fill, and in that table they are given different names of an equipments, different type of equipments are given, and the effects like heat effect, sound effect are also given there. So you want to complete that table here. By completing the table, you can easily understand what are the energy transformations or energy conversions taking place in different equipments. So you do it as a work or complete it in the next class. So as the next chapter or next portion, we want to discuss about the heating effects. We also know that the electrical energy is converted into heat energy. We also said that some before. So we want to discuss how it's taking place very efficiently. Before we start, we can draw a circuit diagram. The equipments shown in the circuit diagram are very familiar for you because you already studied what the symbols resembles. So here we are given a diagram which represents a resistor with a resistance of R, and here we given a symbol which resembles to cell or battery, and here we are choosing a 6-volt battery, and this symbol resembles to switch. So we are denoting all this system with symbol letters like resistance with R, switch with S, and the cell is denoted as C. When we taken care of the resistor, here the resistor R is made up of a material which is known as nichrome. You all are familiar with the material nichrome. This is an alloy metal. What is meant by alloy? Alloy means a new metal which is formed or made with the combination of 2 or more metals. So alloy, this nichrome is an alloy which is made with the help of 2 metals, that is nickel and chromium. So the nichrome coil is used as the resistor here. And what's the use of nichrome coil? We can discuss in the coming sessions. So here a circuit is made, and the circuit we use a nichrome resistor and a 6-volt cell connection and also a switch. When we start the switch or we on the switch, the current will flow through the circuit. What happens when the current flows through the circuit? Normally there will be a potential difference which we denoted as V, or which we denote as V. V stands for voltage. The potential difference in a circuit is known as voltage and it's denoted as letter V. And if there is a voltage difference, there will be a flow of charge. Flow of charge. The charge we represent it with the letter Q. Q means charge. Q means charge. When the charge flows through a circuit for a certain time. For example, there is 5 Qs, which means 5 charges flowing from one portion to another. Let's take a point A here and a point B here. 5 charges traveling from or going from point A to point B in 1 second. 1 second. There, the current I will be Q by T. That is 5 by 1, which means here the current flowing through the circuit will be 5 ampere. 5 ampere. Which means one of the most important word which you want to remember always, that is current, which stands for the letter I. Which I means the unit which we use for the current is ampere. So here when a circuit works, there is a voltage difference, which means a potential difference is there, a flow of charge is there, and this flow of charge will lead to the formation of a current inside this circuit. So for the easiness, we use some units for these symbols, these measurements. Like voltage, we measure it with volt in volt. Charge is measured in coulomb, and current I is measured in, as I said, ampere. For coming sessions, we will use the symbol denoting letters like voltage V, charge coulomb for C, and current is denoted as A. The units V for volt, C for coulomb, and A for ampere. So again we discussing about this circuit. We said that the switch is in the on position. So there is a current flow is taking place. So the current flows. Here we discussed about a material, which means a nichrome coil is placed here. So when the current flows from this point to this through this coil, a voltage difference is maintained. When a charge flows through a potential difference maintained circuit, there will be a current flow. So this current flow will lead to the resistance. This current flow will lead to the resistance, and this resistance will lead to the formation of a heat energy. Formation of heat energy, which means this coil will be turned into red hot condition, which will be noted. This resistance will be, or the resistor, due to the resistance of this coil, will change its color to a red hot condition, which means from this coil we can get a amount of or small amount of heat energy can be delivered. So how the heat energy is produced in the resistor while we are using a certain amount of voltage, a certain amount of current, we are going to discuss. So for the detail, I will draw another figure. So we discussed that there is a resistor and a cell connected with the switch, and I want to measure what's the amount produced in this resistor. How can we derive an equation to find out the heat energy produced in this resistor? For that, first of all, we want to know what is the voltage here and what is the current used here. From the previous lessons in 9th classes, you know that using a voltmeter, you can measure the voltage difference between 2 points. And with the help of an ammeter, you can measure the current in a circuit. But you want to take care that the two instruments are connected in two ways. Like voltmeter is connected in parallel connection and ammeter is connected in a series connection. So in detail we can discuss in this chapter itself. So let's leave that in a side and discuss about our topic. So here the voltmeter, with the help of a voltmeter, we can denote or we can note how much voltage is taken here, and with the help of an ammeter we can note how much current is used here. So here we want to know how much heat energy is produced here. First of all, we want to take care that if a 1Q, what's mean by 1Q? The amount of charge. If 1Q charge is going from this point A to this point B with the help of a work done of 1 joule. Work done, the term you are very familiar in the 9th chapter. We studied in the chapter work, energy and power. So you know what is work. So here we say that 1Q charge traveling from or going from point A to point B with the help of a work done of 1 joule, there will be always a potential difference V of 1 volt. This is a universally accepted phenomenon or universally accepted theory. From this you want to know that if a 1Q charge is traveled from one point to another with a work done of 1 joule, it will be always with a potential difference of 1 volt. So when we write this equation, we can write as the work done W equal to the 1Q into 1V. That means V into Q. If what happens, the quantity of the charge is changed. For example, I use 10 charges and I take a potential difference of 5. Then the equation will be W, according to this equation, the V here is 5 and the Q here is 10. So if we want to move a 10Q charges from one point to another with a voltage of 5 volt, the answer always will be, or the work done will be 50 joules. Work done will be 50 joules. So why we are talking about the work done here? Because the work done by this circuit or the battery here or the cell placed in the circuit is giving a work as heat. When this battery is connected to the circuit, the battery is working, the cell is delivering the energy, and this energy is used for converting or delivering heat energy in this resistor. So by analyzing this work done here, it means it's the heat energy delivered by the resistor. So we want to take care of this word work done, and the unit is joule. So from here we got an equation which means W is equal to V into Q. Okay. Now I have a questions for you students. You also familiar with an equation or a law which is known as Ohm's law. What is Ohm's law? Ohm's law states that if we consider a current carrying conductor, the current passing through the conductor and the potential difference will be always in a proportional when the temperature is in constant, which means when the temperature remains constant, the current passing through a current carrying conductor will be directly proportional to the voltage. From this we formed an equation that is V is equal to I into R. This you all studied in 9th class. And also we earlier discussed that a current I means charge flowed through a circuit divided by time taken for the flow of current. So please note these two equations we will need during the derivation. So from this equation we can create a new equation for Q, that's Q is equal to I into T. Q is equal to I into T. So here we can change this Q is equal to W, which means the work done, is equal to voltage into current into time. So I already said what is the work done here. The work done here means the heat energy produced, that is H is equal to V I T. The heat energy produced in a circuit with a certain amount of charge, certain amount of voltage and certain amount of current working for a time. We can derive the energy produced by the resistor will be H is equal to V I T. Here the voltage is all over in the circuit, the current is also flowing through the circuit and the total circuit is working for certain time. But the change is only taking place here in this resistor, which means the nichrome coil is only turned into red hot condition. The other wires and battery or switches, we don't find any kind of changes. Why the change is only affected in the resistor? So here we want to change a small portion, or we can introduce this relation from the Ohm's law. Voltage V is equal to IR into this equation. We can turn this equation H is equal to V is written as I into R I T. So simplifying this equation, we can write this equation as H is equal to I square RT. Dear students, please note this equation. This is a very important equation which is going to be very important in the physics lessons. From here we get an equation which we can use to find the heat energy delivered from this delivered from this resistor, which means H is equal to I square RT. Here I stands for the current flow through the circuit. R stands for the resistance of this resistor. And the T stands for time which we use this circuit, or the time which the switch is in on position. So this equation is universally known as Joule's law. This equation is universally known as Joule's law. Joule's law states that the heat energy produced in a circuit will be proportional to the power of the current flow through the circuit into the resistance of the resistor and the time taken for the flow of current. And this is first introduced, or this is first derived by the scientist Joule. So it is termed in his name. It's known as Joule's law. And here the heat energy which is produced according to the law of Joule is known as Joule heating or ohmic heating. Ohm means the scientist who derived Ohm's law. The heating process or the heating phenomenon take place in a circuit under the conditions of a Joule's law. It's known as Joule heating or ohmic heating. So, here we discussed how can we find or how can we measure heat energy produced in a resistor where the voltage, current and time are known. And from that we derived an equation, and the equation states H is equal to I square RT, and that equation is derived according to the law of Joule's, and it's known as Joule's law. So, this is a very important portion you all want to note down. So, first of all, we discussed about the energy change taking place in different type of equipments, and we taken care of heating equipments, and we discussed about heating effects taking place in different type of equipments. From there, for an example, we taken circuit and we studied how the heat energy is produced in the circuit, and also we derived an equation for finding out how much heat energy is produced in a circuit while it is using. Okay, so here we derived an equation for Joule's law, that is H is equal to I square RT. From this equation we can conclude that the factors affecting heat energy, producing heat energy in a circuit, and they are current I and resistance and time. Which means if we take an equipment which converts electrical energy into heat energy, the heat energy produced in that circuit is affected by these three factors, and that three factors are current, resistance and time. So, this is very important. So, as the time increases, there will be an increase in heat energy produced. If resistance increasing, there will be a frequent effect in the heat energy produced. Also, the change in current also affects the heat energy produced. For example, take the resistance R is doubled, which means the R is changed to 2R. What will be the effect in heating? The equation H is equal to I square RT. If we introduce 2R here, the heat energy will be doubled, which means H will be 2I square RT. Simply we can say that H is changed to 2H. If the resistance is doubled, the heat energy produced is also doubled. What happens if the resistance is halved? Then the frequent effect will be change will be here. So the equation will be I square R by 2 into T, that is I square R T divided by 2. Simply we can write that will be written as H by 2. From here, if the resistance is halved, the heat energy produced also halved. So, if what happens when the change in time? So, considering the change in time like this, the time is doubled, 2t. So, the frequent effect in the equation will be 2I square RT. So, the effect is 2H, which means the time is doubled, the heat energy produced also doubled. What happens if the time is halved? The same effect will be given here. Sorry. If the time is halved, the equation will be I square R T by 2, that is H by 2. Which means when the time is halved, the heat energy produced also halved. But let me talk about I, which means current. If the current is doubled into 2I, what will be the change in equation? 2I the whole square RT, which means the result will be 4I square RT. That is the H is changed to 4H. That's if the change in current is doubled, the heat energy produced here will be in a 4 times increasing. The energy will be, heat energy produced will be increased up to 4 times. What happens if the current in this circuit is halved? I by 2. The equation will be I by 2 the whole square RT, and the result will be I square RT divided by 4, which means the resulting heat energy will be reduced 4 times. So, we want to take care of this current. In the case of resistance and time, the increasing is in directly proportional manner. If it's doubled, the heat energy also doubled. The time is doubled, the heat energy also doubled. But in case of current, we want to take special notice, or we want to take care that if the current is doubled, the heat energy will be increased 4 times. If the current is halved, the change will be, or the decrease will be 4 times. So, this is very important considering the current. The factors affecting a heating energy or heating material are 3 types, that's current, resistor and a time taking, and these always it's affecting the amount of heat energy produced in a system. So, dear students, today we discussed our first chapter, that effects of electric current. We started the first portion where we discussed about the energy change taking place and also discussed about the law of conservation of energy. From that, we deeply discussed about the heating effects causing due to electrical energy, and from that we concluded that the heating energy produced by a circuit can be derived or calculated with the help of Joule's law, and also we discussed 2 types of law, that's Joule's law and Ohm's law. So, in the next chapter, we can deeply discuss, or we can do some more problems, so that you can very familiar with that equations and you can do that problems very easily. Thank you.